The coming vibe coding apocalypse. Executive summary. Anything that has been touched by vibe coding has been damaged. Vibe coding relies on AI generation and superficial satisfaction rather than rigorous testing. AI tools complete only 80% of development, leaving a broken 20% for humans. This process burns out senior engineers and pollutes the software ecosystem with insecure code. Automated tools cannot fix their own systemic errors. Soon, a great awakening will force companies to roll back software to old, human-verified versions, erasing many months of fixes and enhancements and potentially bankrupting unskilled startups. Article: The tech industry is rushing toward a massive crisis. For the past few years, a new trend has dominated software development. People call this trend vibe coding. The word vibe refers to judgment based on the sense that the output seems okay. Developers rely on artificial intelligence to generate massive blocks of code. They do not look deeply at the logic. Instead, they run the program, see that it works on the surface, and accept it. Unfortunately, seeming okay is not a real test. This casual approach is creating a hidden mountain of broken, insecure, and unmaintainable software. The industry is building its future on a foundation of digital sand. Many experts are now questioning the wisdom of vibe coding. The initial excitement is fading fast. Companies thought AI would replace human engineers entirely. They believed software would become free and instant to produce. This belief was a dangerous illusion. At best, current AI coding tools only do 80% of the work. They are excellent at generating predictable templates. They can write standard boilerplate code very quickly. However, they lack true reasoning. They do not understand architecture, edge cases, or long-term sustainability. The remaining 20% of the work must be done by skilled humans. This final 20% is not easy. It contains the hardest logic, the toughest integration steps, and the deepest system architecture decisions. AI cannot solve these complex puzzles. When developers ignore this reality, the software suffers. The 80% generated by the AI looks complete, but it is often hollow. It lacks the precision required for stable operations. Plus, because of this split, senior engineers are facing an unprecedented crisis. We have been seeing stories about senior engineers getting burned out. Management expects these experts to work at lightning speed. Instead, seniors spend their days fixing generated code. AI tools generate code in seconds, but that code often contains subtle bugs. Senior engineers must hunt down these invisible flaws. This task is much harder than writing code from scratch. It drains their energy and ruins their morale. They feel like high-tech garbage collectors rather than innovators. Any tools they use have probably been corrupted by vibe coding. It's an infinite negative feedback loop. This burnout happens because developers do not understand the vibe code. When a human writes code, they think through every line. They understand the purpose of every variable. They know why a specific loop exists. In contrast, vibe coding introduces thousands of lines of mysterious text into a project. The original developer cannot explain how the AI reached its solution. When the code breaks, nobody knows how to fix it. The team loses control over their own creation. The software becomes a black box that no one truly comprehends. Security is another massive failure point for this new methodology. Vibe coding is known for not doing well at security. AI models train on public code repositories. These repositories contain millions of human errors, outdated libraries, and security flaws. The AI replicates these vulnerabilities across thousands of new projects. It does not check for modern security protocols unless explicitly forced to do so. It prioritizes the vibe of working software over data protection. As a result, hackers can easily find predictable flaws in AI-generated applications. Imagine being a senior programmer trying to add critical features to spaghetti code. The code base is a tangled mess of automated output. It lacks comments, clear structures, or consistent logic. Every time you touch one piece of code, 3 unrelated parts break. You cannot predict the side effects of your changes. The system becomes rigid and fragile at the same time. This nightmare is becoming the daily reality for software teams worldwide. Given the popularity of vibe coding, the problem is no longer isolated. The entire software ecosystem may have been corrupted. This corruption extends from low-level firmware up to user application interfaces. Microchips might run on unstable, AI-generated drivers. Operating systems might contain hidden loops that waste battery life. Smart home devices, banking apps, and medical software might all share the same flawed AI logic. The digital infrastructure of our modern world is degrading silently. This widespread corruption could be a source of endless frustration for consumers and businesses alike. Apps will crash for no apparent reason. Smart devices will disconnect randomly. Software updates will cause more problems than they solve. Users will lose trust in technology. Tech support lines will overflow with unfixable complaints. The seamless digital world we expect will start to stutter and fail. The problem grows worse when you examine the development tools themselves. Consider a vibe-coded coding tool. Engineers are now using AI to build the next generation of AI assistants. If the tool itself has problems, then any code created by it will also have problems. The flaws multiply exponentially with each generation. The corrupted tool passes its bugs down to the software it creates. This creates a feedback loop of digital decay. This brings up a terrifying question for the tech industry. Can you use a corrupt tool to analyze bad code? The answer is a clear no. Many companies try to solve the AI bug problem by throwing more AI at it. They use one model to audit the code written by another model. This approach is foolish. A blind guide cannot lead a blind traveler. The auditing tool suffers from the same blind spots as the creator tool. It misses the same security flaws and structural problems. If you use a corrupt tool to fix apparent bugs, you may be adding even more bugs. The AI fixes a visible glitch on the surface. At the same time, it introduces 2 hidden defects deeper in the system. The code base becomes a minefield of unpredictable behavior. Engineers spend weeks chasing ghosts in the machine. They solve one problem only to trigger a larger collapse elsewhere. The scale of this damage is historic. Decades of careful work may have been destroyed by AI slop. Since the dawn of computer science, engineers developed strict disciplines. They created testing protocols, clean coding standards, and rigorous peer review systems. These practices ensured software reliability for decades. Vibe coding threw these hard-earned lessons away for the sake of speed. In just a few years, low-quality automation has polluted the global supply of software. In the near future, there may be a great awakening about these problems. The illusion of free, fast software will shatter completely. A major disaster will likely trigger this realization. A critical banking system might collapse, or a massive data breach might expose millions of citizens. Executives will finally realize that speed does not equal quality. They will see that their expensive digital products are actually liabilities. When this awakening happens, the panic will be widespread. Software companies may need to roll back to the last known good version of their products. For many firms, this clean version could be more than a year old. It represents the last time human engineers fully understood the code base. They will have to wipe away months of automated updates and feature additions. This rollback will cause immense financial damage. Everything they spent on fixes and features would be lost. Millions of dollars in development budgets will vanish into thin air. Marketing campaigns for new features will become useless overnight. Companies will have to explain to angry customers why their software suddenly lost a year of progress. Stock prices for major tech corporations will likely plummet. Furthermore, the startup landscape will face total devastation. Any startup based entirely on vibe coding would have to learn how to do real code. These companies launched quickly by using AI to build prototype apps. They raised millions of dollars based on rapid growth. However, their core products are fundamentally broken. They cannot survive a rigorous audit or a major technical crisis. These startups will find themselves trapped. Their engineers would not have the experience to fix the mess. A generation of young developers has entered the workforce during this AI boom. Many of them only know how to paste prompts into an AI generator. They have never designed a database from scratch. They have never debugged a memory leak manually. They lack the deep, fundamental skills required to rebuild corrupted software systems. The industry will face a massive skills shortage exactly when it needs experts most. Companies will scramble to hire old-school programmers who understand foundational computer science. The cost of manual verification will skyrocket. The tech world will finally learn a painful lesson. True engineering requires human intelligence, discipline, and deep understanding. You cannot automate the truth, and you cannot build a digital future on a mere vibe. Do you know that any private information you put into a cloud AI is used to train that AI? A private AI running on your own hardware is the best way to keep your private data private. I can help you set up a private AI on almost any PC or server. Contact me for a free consultation. I have published more than 700 blogs on AI in the past 3 years. If you get value from these blogs, please consider joining my Patreon as a member at the $2, $4, or $8 level. https://www.patreon.com/Steve Hovland.